Well, alright then. Welcome to 20XX. This is a roguelike Mega Man. It's roguelike Mega Man. Let's not beat around the bush here. It's made by Battery Staple Games. It's been in early access for a little while, which is actually when I picked it up. But it is now out of early access. It has endgame content. It is complete. It is ready to go. So we're going to go. Normal difficulty. Let's keep it straightforward. So this is very much in the Mega Man style. It's more of Mega Man X in terms of like your functionality stuff. You are a tanky little penguin. So we have dashes. Should try to not do that. I'm not a very long-standing Mega Man player, so you know, you can expect me to be a bit bad at this game. Oh, of course that's ice. Of course ice is slippery. So basically these are, this is a roguelike, so all the levels are procedurally generated. You know what? Screw you. Gonna charge up, take out these guys. Again, you have your charge shot, you have your dashing, your wall climbing. There is even a character that's basically designed after Zero. You have the sword and all that. Oh, that's a teleporter, apparently. And the whole objective of the game is just to beat a whole bunch of, robot masters, essentially. Exactly what you would imagine for a Mega Man style game. Some of these enemies are very obnoxious though. So we got to shoot this and then come down into the little shield thing to knock that explosive off of our heads because we don't want to blow up. We can take enough damage on our own, thank you very much. Case in point. That was close. Yeah, you have to do that in order to survive. This is the first level too, that's the thing. And because it's, roguelike, there are challenge rooms. That's not unheard of. There we go, took care of you. And of course there are more waves. Oh. Yeah, can't win them all. The game is not especially difficult in the grand scheme of things. At least if you're any good at Mega Man, as I said, not so much. I don't think I've even played through like the early NES ones. I certainly haven't beaten any of those, and I did have Mega Man 9 when that was on the Wii. That's a long time ago, actually. Yeah, we don't... At the moment, we don't need the health. Give it time. But yeah, I don't think I ever beat that one either. So we're kind of operating on base platforming skills here, which, some of this is not too uncommon, but I just have to get good at it, I suppose. So this glory room we should be able to beat relatively easily. I say that, but we'll see. Yep, there we go. We got a thing. Armator's Shell. Grants immunity to knockback. Okay. I mean, it's a roguelike. There are things to unlock. And in this case, you do that primarily by those challenge rooms, although there are going to be boxes strewn throughout. Some of those, we've already seen a couple of them, and I believe those have the chance of containing... Are you just invulnerable? No. Good. And yeah, there's a currency mechanic that persists between runs. So as we progress, we'll be able to unlock more items that can appear. I don't remember there being any that you're able to then start with. There might be some. Large nuts. There are occasional comments and items in this game that, yeah, it's not that they're like lewd necessarily, but you can kind of give them a side eye here and there. All in good fun though. That's fire though. Fire is not in good fun. I guess we can't cling on to those. They have, kept developing this game across early access. They're actually really good about that. Strong armband. Basic attacks deal slightly more damage. And damage up. Good. Yeah, this game has been kind of progressing since it first showed up in early access, so a few things are a little different. If you may have played it like ages ago, this is old. Yeah, let's heal all the way up. You don't always get that option also. You frequently do, but not always. Now we have Rollster Beta. This, despite the game being released, this guy is still in beta. And he just kind of throws around those kind of boomerang shots. Those kind of, I don't know if they're boomerang, they're like 8 or 4-sided blade things. They're kind of like ninja stars almost. I don't know. I think when you get them as a weapon, they have a boomerang kind of facility to them. But this guy looks fairly easy. I think we're gonna actually flawless this fight. And we get data lore because this is our first time beating him. Life extender, max health +1. We'll take that. But part of the reason that it was so easy is that this is the first boss. So we can take, yeah, Boomerang Blade. We can take his power, or we can take just some nuts, or Reclaim Spark, where our powers do slightly more damage. We don't have any powers right now. This is the only power we can take. And if we take it, we can't get the other thing. So we'll just take it. And that means we now do this. And those are just like a couple of scientists who are maybe jerks. I don't know. And of course you can save and quit between levels, and you get to pick what your next level is. This is a nice little mechanic. This is something that I really appreciated as we were going through initially. Let's battle the Perforator. It's another super hot level. Come on. I don't know if we even can. Yeah, of course we can. I don't see why we wouldn't, we just didn't have the aim. So we can like go pick whatever boss we want to, which means we can pick what style of level we want to deal with. So if we don't feel like dealing with an ice level, we can kind of avoid them for a little while. Assuming, of course, the boss selection gives you that ability. Large energy, okay. How in the world are you supposed to get up there? That doesn't make sense. This is definitely, yeah, there's definitely a chest up here. You can kind of tell, like, when you see little challenges, little traps. There we go, reclaim spark. So now if we use our boomerang power, it's gonna be a little bit stronger. Okay, this is a speeding... Oh no, this is another sleigh. No clue what this thing is, but it's dead is what it is. Unfortunately, the damage we take here is real damage, so... Oh, there we go. Success. We get Oxjack's Ken. Bolt dash active. Complete dashes more quickly. So I think it's just like a reduced cooldown on our dashes, which is nice. Yeah, nice improvements on mobility in this level. Now I've heard this game like described maybe facetiously, being like what Mighty Number 9 ought to have been. Let's see what we got. Life extender, more speed, 50% of powers cast free. We're just gonna take the HP and carry on. Mighty Number 9, of course, being the very Mega Man, but not technically Mega Man, but it's totally Mega Man game that came out a couple of years ago, was kickstarted, a lot of hype for it, and then it was kind of disappointing. I haven't played that because this is literally the only Mega Man style game that I have put any amount of time into. I think it was just like the sheer difficulty, or at least the implicit difficulty of Mega Man games always just made me not terribly interested in them. Which is like totally on me, I suppose. But you know, this is difficult, but also a bit of variety to it. And apparently if you fall into the lava, you just die instantly, but you don't really die. Taking a lot of hits there. And we're into the boss. Now, down in the lower left, you might see there's a little gift box. This is the same shop as earlier. So you get a bonus if you complete a level within a certain amount of time. The Perforator Alpha. Okay, this is not that bad, but also a lot of shots happening. So we didn't flawless this one. We failed that pretty quickly. So there is like a certain kind of speedy element to this game with the level speedrun kind of thing. But this isn't really a speed game. I feel like Mighty Number 9 was trying to be more of a speed game, more of a traditional Mega Man kind of thing, which it can do because it's a linear game. And that's pretty straightforward. So, you know, players can optimize, figure out routes. There's no real way to route this game. Potato battery. We got a potato. So we can get the heavies machine gun. There are a number of, you know, video game references as we just saw. That totally, we know what potato that was. Yeah, we'll take that. So now we have a couple of powers, and we get a life extender as our reward. So all the better. So we can go to Sky Temple, Frost Ore, or Sky Temple. You got 2 votes, so we'll do this. Now we didn't quite see it last level just because there are enough components to this game that we didn't encounter it. Like enough components to levels. But The level design is such that, whoop, such that it's easy to fall off. There are, you know, a set number of basically set pieces, you know, analogous to rooms in Isaac or in Strafe, and those all have various versions. Sky Temple is very precarious, and Sky Temple is actually more precarious when you're playing later in the game. The reason for that is each of those zones that I just mentioned, they all have variants based on difficulty. So you can be, you know, going through one zone early on. Let's see, Owlhawk's Reign. Power kills might restore health. So that turns off the knockback, but we're okay with that. We need power though. So like, you'll encounter a chamber like this one, maybe on a lower difficulty if you come to this earlier in the run, that might have more platforms, you know, as an example. Or the platforms might be larger or what have you. You know, just some way of raising or lowering the difficulty. Okay, so there was a reason to shoot those things. We're back up to full health. Our energy is still kind of low. I have no idea what it means that this is glowing, like some kind of weird double stuffed Oreo. But it doesn't appear to be hurting us or falling away or anything, so that's fine. Sky Temple is... Personally, from playing it in early access, you want to do Sky Temple as early as possible because it gets much harder the further in you go. Now that might not be the case anymore, but that was my initial impression. Oh, yeah, there are occasionally these champion enemies, and they're the ones that drop these soul chips. So, you want to deal with them, even though they're annoying to deal with. And here we go. Some energy, very nice. 1 token per spin. We don't have any tokens. Oh well. So what do we have here? Kerr, the Savage Skylord. Oh. Oh. We gotta get the high ground on this guy. Whoa. Okay, we're out of energy. Yep. Of course, each boss kind of designed to test you in different ways, as you would expect. So this one is very much about handling vertical stuff. See, there's a correct height to survive these. Probably best to do it on a platform. Whereas this one, you can kind of jump around. So I mean, this does take, you know, one of the big draws of a Mega Man game, namely the boss pattern kind of learning. There we go. With 20 seconds to spare. We're nearly dead, but we survived. And we get more speed. And the Quint laser. The bullet is enormous. There is no escaping. We'll do that. So now we have a full power set. And a good amount of soul chips. It doesn't say how many we have. Death Lotus, Astral Twins, Shatterbeak. Let's go to the ice level. Ice levels always hurt, but whatever. This is going to be level 4. There are 8 levels total until the boss fight, the end game content. Okay, we are getting brutalized in there. Oh, and that did us in. So 3 bosses defeated. The ice level is an ice level. These things happen. We survived a decent amount of time. You know what? Let's do one more. Oh, cutscenes. Press the payment button. Come on. Press the payment button. That's not payment. That's an explosion. You typically don't get paid in explosions. That's not advisable. But oh well. Okay, there are permanent upgrades that you can get. Okay. So we can Great Dally will visit you with a boost in level 2. And then of course there are item unlocks that we can just unlock to be around, and you can get items just for the next run. And you can get tokens, so that's how you obtain them. Let's turn on, well, let's get that one. We can actually just get all 3. But if we do that, we can't unlock any items. So we'll unlock that one, and you start the next run with the thing. So that's nice. We'll do a quick ace run. So yeah, that's 0. You can't call him 0, but it's 0. And we start off on the Arctic level. But we get some soul chips straight away. We actually started on the Arctic level last time, but it is not guaranteed that you'll start on any given level. It just happened that way for this particular set of runs. That's a bunch of teleporters. Just kind of going all over the place. That's a crate that we can't access, and one that we can, but getting back is going to be a pain. But damage up. Or, actually no, this isn't too bad because it's... So I said it wasn't too bad, and then we took like all the damage. So it shows what I know. Can we climb up here, maybe? Oh, okay. So that gets us up here, where we get the potato. But we just want to climb. And we don't even have enough... Well, it's so early. We can't really expect to have a whole lot of currency. The controls do feel like as good as they did in early access, so that must be said. It's a little... I feel like it's smooth. It is a little floaty, but I don't have a problem with that. I actually think it works rather well for the nature and style of the game. So, no complaints here about that. I would honestly rather that over like early Mega Man kind of stiffness. I always found like the NES ones particularly. Armatorts pound. There we go. Your charge shots vaporize enemy shots. Okay, that's good. We basically have shielded shots, or shielded blade in this case. But yeah, I always found like the early Mega Man games a bit stiff. And it's just kind of trickier to move around fluidly than I would have liked. And this game, it doesn't quite have that problem. You do need to get a couple of power-ups before you really move fast enough. Vile Visage, Pillar of Nightmares. We have a sword, so this is gonna be a little obnoxious, but... Right, we have to charge it up for it to deflect shots. Okay, there we go. You're gone. You're gone. That's an eye in your face. An eye in your mouth. An eye in the face is, like, actually natural. It's where in the face the eye is. And with a minute 11 to spare. And we got the Vitality Scavenger, which healed us. That's nice. Force Nova. Release a shockwave, crushing foes and blocking shots. Sure. We'll take any new power that shows up. Another Vitality. We get it. We can scavenge Vitality. We can do that. Vaculab. I don't think we've been to the Vaculab. Yeah, Jungle Station. So there are, you know, I think just the 4 themes to levels. Ice, fire, sky, and water. Or ice, rather. Very elemental in its design. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Should probably use that when we're like in situations where our enemies are below us. And some pretty straightforward platforming. Again, because we're early on, like, these are not difficult arrangements. Oop, that's not where we wanted to go. Whoop. Ah. Let's not go for that crate. We're just gonna hurt ourselves more and more doing that. This crate we can take. It's gonna be another slay them all. There are multiple types of these. We just haven't encountered the other ones yet. Come on, you ninja doggo thing. Grants immunity to knockback. Right, we've had this before. I'm also kind of optimistic about this game from a content point of view. Like, I try not to play games just because, oh, they make good YouTube videos or whatever, but especially, like, length of a run. You know, we were on the 4th level, died to... Well, we died near the end. Roughly near the end. We might have died at the boss, and I literally just stopped paying attention so quickly, which is terrible of me. But that was like 16 minutes. So we're not going to have like 2-hour runs anymore, is the point. So this is good. This is like a blank in Enter the Gungeon. It's a very nice kind of ability to have. The other one is the one that's nearly dead. That one's gone, and now that one's gone. And we have most of our health. We have almost all of our health. That gives us the Reclaim Spark. Flame Shield. That's gonna be very nice. We're getting a lot of like defensive ones. It feels like. That's a speed bonus, some run chips, Sky Temple, Froster, Agnesort. Let's go Sky Temple. Try to do it relatively early in the run. I don't know if there's like a requirement, like, oh, you have to go to the Sky Temple twice or once or at all. But I feel like eventually it's going to diminish how many are available to you. You know, it could get to where, you know, it's the end of the game and all you can do is Sky Temple. And oh yeah, it's, you know, level 8, so everything is super hard. I would like to avoid that, if at all possible. This is not the way that we need to go, but this will get us a chest with another reclaimed spark. That is a bad idea. Doing blind jumps in the Sky Temple, don't do that. Because I think falling all the way just kills you instantly. That might have been changed since the last time I played this, but I'm going to operate on the assumption that it is instant death. And just try to not do that. So 50% of power is cast free. And we can see like what we have. No legs, but we have arms, body, head, couple powers, couple augs. I think those augs do stack. Like the fact that we have a bunch of those metal detectors like actually matters. It actually has that impact. Which is nice, you know? It's better than, oh, you got it once and that's all the effect that it'll ever have for you. It's also a good way to handle if there's maybe not as many items in the game as you maybe would like, you know, depending on your personal preference on, you know, what do you expect a roguelike to have content-wise. The fact that a run is different if you have the same thing multiple times, that's nice. So we're gonna come up here, completely avoid that. Can't quite slash that the way we wanted though. There's a thing up there, separate from the thing we're slicing. Yeah, that thing. And we have a champion there, which gives us 1 soul chip. Better than none. But yeah, like, on an earlier level, those, like, force field beams wouldn't be there. So it'd be much more natural maneuvering. Let's buy some health. There. We don't really need the Vitality Scavenger. We have a lot of them already. And we may have enough potatoes and HP ups, but whatever. So we get to face Kerr again. Put on a flame shield. And just like instantly chew it up on him. But of course we don't have range playing as Ace. So we just kind of tanked a little bit. In the sense of like tanking damage, not like doing poorly. And we'll take the laser. And 3 soul chips. Not so bad. Not so bad. We haven't done the fire level, Agnesort. So, you know, we'll balance it out. And of course there are like harder variants of enemies, and now that we're deeper in the game, we're seeing some of those. Case in point. And they're not like the champions that give soul chips, they're just harder. Because you're further in the game, you should be more powerful. Deal with it. Oh. There's definitely like something with my controller, because we just kind of kept running when we shouldn't have, but oh well. You know, an amateur blames their tools, the expert blames the world around them. Let's knock those things out. Those. Glory is not your... Too slow. Too slow. Oh well. We still get all the damage that we took, so that's your consolation prize, is a ton of damage taken. Oh, we found a token. Whoop, wrong button. That wasn't the controller, that was me making these jumps incorrectly and then getting killed. That is a point that Ace is not particularly good for. But that's just that one configuration. Other situations, I think Ace actually worked really well, and that's why you have the two characters. We can bounce back and forth, see which one feels better. And we'll probably be doing that as we go along, trying to get to the end game content, which is brand new for the full release. I have no idea what it is. We're gonna find out. We're gonna try and get some winning runs in, or at least get closer. So I hope to pull that off at some point relatively soon. Either way, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed these runs. If you did, a like would be appreciated. Subscribe doubly so. But either way, ta-ta for now.